Bill Belichick has said plenty of things in preseason, although he'd prefer to say nothing about his quarterback situation. And at last we heard from him on it. He said Cam is the starter until someone plays better than him. That was a week ago.
Right.
Here's Bill Belichick after the preseason finale against the New York Giants on who the quarterback will be come week 1 when the Dolphins go to New England.
Have you made a decision on who will start at quarterback in the regular season opener?
Yeah, no, we still have a lot of decisions to make.
What are you hoping to see in the next couple weeks of practice, Bill, before that first game from the quarterback position to help you make that decision whenever the time comes?
Yeah, well, we'll be focused on preparing for Miami, so that's what we'll do.
Hey, that is a jarring difference to me, and it's a culmination of what we have seen over the course of the last week. Cam Newton, by virtue of not being vaccinated, sorry people who don't want us to talk about it, but it has real football consequences. By virtue of not being vaccinated, being knocked out for several days of practice, and underscoring the fact that as an unvaccinated player, he's tested every day. He could be gone for a minimum of 10 days at any given moment, including the day of a game when you're ready to go. You can't count on that. You can't have your entire team's hopes riding upon whether or not a guy tests positive the morning of the game. You combine that with how Mac Jones looked last week.
Right.
Yeah, it is a toss-up now. And that's a credit to Mac Jones. He's taken it from a presumption, a clear presumption, Cam is the starter, to we don't know at this point what's going to happen 13 days from now.
No, I mean, you're right. I feel like we got an inkling, but I mean, Mike, I mean, you're I mean, I think you're spot on. Not only with that yesterday, I mean, I know Thursday, I believe you wrote an article on PFT where, I mean, Belichick said he made a similar statement where he said he had no timetable for the decision. That was the first time I went, wait, you're recognizing there's a decision? There's a timetable? Because up to that point, to what you're saying, it was just like, no, Cam Newton's a starter. No, you got to beat him out. That was a different answer. I certainly perked up when I heard that when I read that on Thursday afternoon. Interesting to me, but I mean, yeah, I mean, we say it. Mac Jones he's phenomenal. I don't know any other way to say it. He's born to be in the pocket and pick defenses apart. He's got great quick feet. He's got a really quick release. You see there. I mean, it's not like the ball is always like, oh my gosh, it's a laser beam. But it's always in the right spot, always on the money. Completion, pressure there, throws a nice back shoulder into a safe spot. Even there, just the anticipation to know, wait, I might have to get this ball out a hair quicker because of this defense. He puts it on the money. You see he's got leadership skills, and people like him that way. So I'm with you. I think it's very, very close. I still think they're going to go Cam Newton. You know, again, I'll say what I said with, like, the 49ers. They didn't start Mac Jones in a preseason game yet. I have a hard time thinking they're going to go, hey, we're going to go play the Miami Dolphins, who are really talented. Their defensive staff is all from New England. They know our stuff, and we're going to throw our rookie out there to deal with it. That's where I go, I think it's Cam Newton, but it'll be a short leash to your point because Mac Jones just looks phenomenal.
Well, and it's really the start of the second preseason because they have 3 games before Tommy comes back to town. And if you're going to go with Mac Jones week 4, you get him ready week 1, week 2, week 3. I thought of something as we were watching those clips, though, of Mac Jones, given that we just talked about the 49ers and given the widespread belief that the move up was made for the 49ers to get Mac Jones. Do you think Kyle is tormented when he sees Mac Jones operating an offense that smoothly and that efficiently?
Well, yeah, I do. Especially when he sees plays like that because he's like, wait, that play's in my playbook. That's a first down. And then he goes, wait, that play action pass? Oh, wait, that's in my playbook too. Oh, on the money, first down. Yes, I think that's part of the reason we've seen Kyle a hair uncomfortable is because he wants to get his guy and make the mark, and he knows the guy that, you know, we all thought he was going to take, and the guy that I think like symbolizes the type of quarterback he's always liked is at the place that's like its worst nightmare. He's like, oh no, he's with Belichick, who will know how to take advantage of him fully, just like I would have. And yeah, they're going to be linked forever because of that. I mean, we talk about, Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence. I mean, Lance Mac Jones is going to be compared as we go on here because, yeah, I'm still one. I know there's a ton of people around football that still believe Mac Jones was the original target, intended in the trade. So, yeah, I would think that adds to the pressure to what you're saying, Mike, for sure.
There's a hell of a story to be told eventually, some way, somehow, about how it went from Jones to Lance, as many believe it did. Jones was 10 for 14 last night for the Patriots, 156 yards, a touchdown, no picks. Cam Newton did get the start. He threw 5 passes, completed 2, but completed 1 to the other team. And, hey, that's his closing argument for Week 1. That's the last we're going to see of him before they make a decision, and that interception's got to be something that troubles Bill Belichick, Chris.
Yeah, it does, but I think it's one that it's not like real troubling. They're going to go, wait, listen, I think Cam's going to look at the film and go, wait, I wish I would have thrown it outside to Kendrick Bourne, but I don't think this is going to be a play that's going to be viewed overly negative when they break it down, Josh McDaniels, Bill Belichick. They're going to go, wait, I understand his logic going down the middle. He actually threw a really good ball. And Blake Martinez made a great play. I mean, the receiver should have caught it. He had 2 hands on it. As he's tucking it in, Martinez rips it out. But, yes, I mean, that just adds a little more fuel, to the sports media talk and everything up there in Boston to go, yeah, Cam threw a pick. Mac Jones looked great. Why don't they just start Mac Jones? That whole conversation. I just think with the developments like you laid out over the last 10 days and the way Mac continues to look better and better, like, I would have said 2 weeks ago, it's 80-20 Cam Newton, and he's got a little, wiggle room on his leash. And now here we are going to get ready for, Week 1, and we're just, 2 weeks out of that where I go, oh, man, now it's like 52-48 Cam Newton, and that leash is short. And if he doesn't play well that first game or two, I don't think they're going to hesitate to go to Mac Jones.
And in Cam's defense, I mean, that was a great throw. And when you watch it, you think the ball's going to be completed. But that's what happens when you throw to a guy who has someone close by, potentially happens, versus a guy who's wide open like the receiver on the left side was. Yeah. And, hey, at that level of football, there's an expectation that the quarterback is going to spot, especially an experienced quarterback. We talked a couple of weeks ago about how Justin Fields – maybe isn't in position to recognize based on pre-snap look that a running back's going to pop wide open with a linebacker covering him, and you get a touchdown instead of a first down. But anytime there's an inkling that a guy's going to be wide open, you expect a 10-year veteran to possibly see it and take full advantage of it. So if we had to go one way or the other right now, what's your guess? I'm not going to give you a hard time about it 2 weeks from now if it's the other guy. But what's your guess right now as to who it's going to be?
I think it'll be Cam for kind of the reasons I stated a little bit before. Just that, first off, knowing that group up there in New England, just watching them, my whole life basically, I don't think they're the type of group that wants to throw out a rookie quarterback out there. And then I think the other thing is, the rookie quarterback didn't start one preseason game. It is the Dolphins who are a legit contender in the AFC this year. They have great knowledge of the schematics of the drop-back pass game and those things of the New England Patriots. And I think for those reasons, I think they will go with Cam early on with the short leash like we talked about.
I think it's going to be Mac.
You do?
And I think it's going to be Mac because – and this is the kind of stuff that Bill Belichick never talks about publicly. He does not want to ever put any of his players in a difficult spot.
Right.
He will rip you privately, but he will not say anything negative about you publicly. He had to have been beyond exasperated last week with the COVID misunderstanding, the automatic 5-day absence from Cam Newton as they're getting ready for joint practices against the New York Giants, as they're getting ready to end their preseason and put the hay in the barn before Week 1. He's not going to say anything about it, but it's a fundamental notion of availability, and Cam knew the rules, and they're not going to come out and make him look bad with a statement that says Cam knew the rules. They did everything they could to prop up Cam as part of this, but behind the scenes, you have to be beside yourself, and that has to be a factor because he doesn't have to worry about it with Mac Jones.
Yeah.
He knows that if they design their game plan for Mac Jones, Jones is going to be available on Sunday. When his head hits the pillow Saturday night before that Sunday game, of all the things he's worried about, he doesn't have to worry about Mac Jones passing a test the next day for COVID, coming back negative so he can play. He's got to worry about it with Cam. And that,
I hear you, Mike.
In a close competition, that could be the difference maker, and I think it is going to be Cam for that reason.
Yeah, I hear Mike. I mean, I'm with you in a lot of ways there. I also think that I think that's very real. I'm not trying to even say you're wrong or anything like that. I think what's come to my brain just a little bit over the last 2 or 3 days too is because of all the things that happened too, Belichick, maybe he's letting this dangle out there a little bit because he's Cam needs to, you need to button it up. You need to button it up. Here's your warning because now I'm in deciding mode. You better, be careful with where you go. One slip and you might be done. And he might be using it a little bit of as a motivational tactic like we used to talk about before, with Wes Welker. He played better when he was angry. Maybe he feels like maybe Cam will be better in all areas that you need to be as a quarterback, a leader, and all those things if he feels like there's a little threat behind him with Mac Jones.
Well, and there's a test coming up because everybody's getting that 4-day break, that mini bye, because there is no fourth preseason game. Vaccinated players can do whatever they want to do. Unvaccinated players can't leave. It'll be an interesting test, both for Cam and for Mac. Is Mac going to stick around? Is he going to be in the facility every day, right?
I would bet so.
That's part of this as well. That's part of the test. They're both being tested. You're always being, in New England and pretty much everywhere, you're always being tested. You're always being evaluated, but especially in New England. And they want guys who are smart enough to know that someone is always watching what you do, and everything you do can and will be used against you in the court of Bill Belichick. That's just the way it is.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.